What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Financially Free Affiliate Marketing training video. Really excited to be here, guys. I know it's been a minute again. Things have been pretty crazy, but I'm really glad to be back and live in the group. Guys, if you're jumping on live, drop me hashtag live. And if you're checking this out on replay, drop me a hashtag replay. The regulars know the drill, but if you're not a regular to the lives, let me know where you're checking in from as well in the world. Be really cool to see that. It's always interesting to see where the audience is. But yeah, it's been a crazy, I guess, week and a half, 2 weeks since I've seen you guys live in the group again. As I said, I'm trying to make this a more regular thing to offer as much value to you guys as I can. So I hope everybody's been enjoying the lives already. If you haven't already, you can head back into the units or guides section, depending on whatever they're calling it this week. But if you head in there and you go over to the live trainings, you'll see a bunch of different trainings I've done in the past. I think you'll find a lot of them really, really helpful. It's basically where I document all the information that I'm learning. So yeah, exciting stuff. As I said, really good to be back live, guys. And as you can see, as the title suggests, 3 ways to grow your group fast, I want to talk about today, because I think this is a really important asset that a lot of people underestimate the value of. Now, a lot of people ask me, like, when's the best time to start a group? Because people are sort of starting out, they're like, this guy's telling me I need a group. This guy's saying I don't really know what to think. And my answer is like, I think the best time to start a Facebook group is as soon as you can without feeling overwhelmed. Because obviously, starting a Facebook group is an investment. It's an investment in your time, a little bit more energy. You need to be active in it, but it is incredibly powerful. It's a huge asset, as I'm going to go through in a second. So look, I think it's important to start a Facebook group as part of your strategy. I don't think, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I don't think now's the right time for you to start it. But I think it is important to start one as soon as you possibly can without feeling totally overwhelmed. So I hope that's clear, guys. Thanks everybody who's jumping on. So if you are checking this out live, drop me a hashtag live. Let me know where you're checking in from in the world. If you're on replay, drop me a hashtag replay, and do the same thing. Let me know where you are checking in from. Live from Melbourne, Australia. And we're going to jump straight into it in a second. 3 ways to grow your group fast. Let's jump into it. Now, firstly, I just want to talk about something like, well, here you go. It's in front of you on the screen. Why grow your group, right? Big question. Why grow your group? Why bother growing your group? What are the benefits? Let's go into a little bit more detail. Now, the first part of growing a group is that a good Facebook group, when properly set up, can generate you inbound leads. Now, generating inbound leads, I hope everyone understands the power of that. But the dynamic in a conversation where you've got an inbound lead is massively different. You will close a massive number, like the percentage of sales that you will close as an inbound lead as opposed to a cold outbound lead will be huge. Like, you're going to close so many more inbound leads. Anybody who's got any experience in this game is going to know this. An inbound lead is so much easier to close. The dynamic's totally different in the conversation. They've reached out. They're actively looking for help. Inbound leads are huge, massive in your business. Like, if you could even generate 10 inbound leads a day, it would totally change your business forever. You'd hit 6 figures, no problems. Because 10%, assuming a 10% closing rate would be, a sale a day, or assuming even a 5% closing rate would be, let's say, half a sale a day. So that's, if you're promoting something high ticket, that's $500 to $1,000 a day, right? So I hope that's really just sinking in the power of generating these inbound leads. It is massive. If you can generate 10 of these a day, which is very well possible with a good setup Facebook group, you are well on your way to 6 figures. So there's two aspects to this. Now, number one is when you grow your Facebook group to a certain size, Facebook's going to start recommending it in the search. So when people say, for example, they'll jump on Facebook and they'll search affiliate marketing and they'll type in groups, yours is going to come up in the top couple of groups. This is important because this is going to generate you organic leads, right? And I'm going to explain a little bit more in detail about how we turn these people into leads. But think about this, right? Imagine if you had 20 completely organic group requests a day where you haven't tried to grow your group at all. Facebook's just recommended it to 20 people who are interested and they've hit join. Powerful, right? 20 members a day. That's huge group growth. That's massive. That's in 5 days, you'd have 100 new members. So I hope you can understand the power here. So the goal is to get it to a certain amount of members. Now, this happens somewhere around the 500 to 1,000 members mark, anywhere between there. where Facebook is going to start recommending your group. Now, this is based on other things like engagement as well, but assuming that you're posting quality content in there, people are engaging to a degree in your content, you're going to start getting recommended anywhere between 500 and 1,000 members. That is why we want to grow our group. This is the first reason we want to grow our group to 500 to 1,000 members, because all of a sudden we're going to get 20 new leads in our group every single day. Now, the way that we actually turn these into inbound leads is that we have a hand raiser question. So when we're setting up our group, we want to set it up so that people are required to answer questions to join. Not just anyone can click join and just join the group, right? We want to ask them some questions. Now, I've been through this before, but briefly to touch on it, I like to collect an email address. I like to ask a hand raiser question, and I like to ask a market research question. Pretty straightforward, but what does a hand raiser question in particular look like? And that's a question asking somebody, are you struggling and looking for help? Now, that's a very general statement. Anybody who's joined my group recently would see mine. I'm not going to go into detail on it. If you want to check it out, leave the group and rejoin. You'll be able to see my hand raiser question that I have there. But what that does is that forces people to raise their hand, either say, yes, I need help, and put their hand up, or say no, right? Pretty simple concept. Now, the power of this is that all of a sudden, anybody who's raised their hand, so they've organically found our group, they're looking for help, they've joined our group, they've seen a question saying, do you need help? And they've raised their hand. All of a sudden, that becomes a warm inbound lead. Pretty powerful, right? All we've got to do is put a question in place and grow it to a certain degree. And all of a sudden, our group's going to start generating leads and spitting them out the other end at us. People who have raised their hand and said, yes, please, I'd like help. I'd like more information on that. That's incredibly powerful. That's huge. Like I said, the dynamic of the conversation is huge, because if we've got 10 inbound leads, they're a lot warmer than our cold outreach. We're so much more likely to close the sale that way. Okay, so this is why grow your group, because you could have anywhere from, 2 people all the way up to 20 people a day joining a group and putting their hand up and saying, yes, please, I'd like some help. So don't underestimate the power of a Facebook group. This is massive. Now, another reason is that we can incubate your leads. So a Facebook group is somewhere that you incubate your other leads. This is somewhere you send everybody. They slowly warm up to you. Facebook, the algorithm is pushing group content right now because they want to grow Facebook groups for whatever reason. They're right into the communities and they're pushing the content. So leads are a lot more likely to see your content. Beyond that, if you've got them on your friends list, your email list, and in your Facebook group, that's another touch point. And we know at this point that it takes, on average, 7 to 9, I think it is, exposures to an offer for somebody to make a purchase. We need multiple touch points, and this is another touch point. But beyond all of that, it's just a place where you can incubate your leads, somewhere where all of the people hang out who you've talked to in the past. They get a bunch of value from you. You over deliver to your group. You give them a bunch of value, much like this live. You jump on live. You can offer them written content, pre-recorded, whatever it is. But you give them a bunch of value, and it incubates your leads, and a percentage of them will warm up to you, warm up to the idea of what you're doing, and put their hand up and go, yep, all right, I'd like some help now. Now, beyond that, we're building a community. Sorry, I'm not very good at saying that word. We're building a community, and that's really powerful. We're building it around our brand. So it's helping build our brand, the power in our brand, in our name, in our face. We're building a group, a tribe, basically. We're building a tribe. Or as Zeki Ahmed has recently started doing, a cult, which is, one step further. But we're building a tribe of people who like us, who like what we do, who are interested in what we have to say, and whether they're buyers or not buyers, whether they're our customers or not. We're building this really cool place where people are receptive to what they say. They want to learn from us. They love hearing from us. It's a pretty cool thing. It's really, really good. And it's powerful for your brand as well. But beyond that, we're building authority. By being a leader in a group, we're building authority. People see us as an authority figure. We're running a Facebook community where multiple people come in. We're helping people out. We're offering valuable content. We're doing, maybe interviews. So you've got authority by association there. We're doing whatever it is. We're building authority. We're seen as a leader inside of the group, where we own the group, we run the group, we moderate the group, we provide a majority of the content in there. We help people out. We have offers. It builds up your authority massively. And this is another element of building a Facebook group that I think is pretty often overlooked. A lot of people are like, I'll just incubate the leads or whatever, but there's layers to this, and there's multiple reasons why building one is incredibly powerful. So I think I've talked about why enough. Let's talk about how. Now, the first way to grow your group is through Messenger. Now, some of these concepts are going to be, some of you guys will be familiar with some of these. So bear with me because there's going to be 3 steps to this, 3 steps to rapid group growth. Number 1 is Messenger. Now, this is really simple, right? Invite anybody who's in the space. Now, a lot of people have this thing where they're like, well, but it's not a lead, and I don't want people who aren't leads in my group. That sounds cool. That's all good to have a group full of leads. In a perfect world, right? Like in a perfect world, our whole group would be leads. But how long is it going to take you to get to that 500 or 1,000 mark where you're going to start getting recommended organically and start generating leads on autopilot, right? Years, literally years to get a 500 to 1,000 genuine leads in your group, right? And I think people need to loosen the filters a little bit. So I think you need to invite anybody who's in the space who you get along with to a degree. You don't need to be best mates, but you get along with them to a degree. They don't hate you. You don't hate them. And they're moderately interested in the space because it doesn't matter if they're like, ahead of you or but not as far as you or whatever it is. I don't think it's probably necessarily the best way to look at it. But it doesn't matter if someone's crushing it, if they're starting out, if they're somewhere in between, they're doing okay. Invite them to your community. Build it up. You'll be surprised how many of these people, as your authority grows, as your momentum picks up, will reach back out and actually ask for help. Really, really powerful. So I invite anybody who's in the space, anybody who's in the affiliate space. Like if they're into crypto and they have no interest in affiliate marketing, probably wasting our time, right? But anybody who's in the space, it's a numbers game. We're trying to get the numbers up initially to get that group growth to accelerate so we can hit that number and organically get leads. There is a time to tidy up your group and tighten things up. But now is not the time if you're in the build phase. Now is the time to beef up the numbers, right? In the beginning, and I always preach quality over quantity, but in the beginning, there's a balance. And we want to make sure that we've got the quantity coming through so that we can generate those organic leads on autopilot, and then we can trim the fat, right? Easy to do, easy to trim the fat at a later date. This is a typo. This is meant to say a minor close, but this is a minor close. So when you're chatting to somebody in Messenger, look at it as a close. Don't just be like, hey, want to join my group? Some will say, yeah, but treat it as a minor close, right? Give them a reason. What's the reason? What is your group about? Why would they want to join, right? Because there's a lot of groups out there, and ideally they'd become an active member of our group. So yeah, I think it's powerful to treat this as a minor close. Give them a reason to join. Okay, don't just be like, want to join my group. Like, hey, I know you said you're in affiliate marketing and you've been struggling a little bit with lead generation. I've actually got a live in my group, or I've actually just put a post up last week about that, or I've got a post coming out next week, whatever that looks like, but treat it as a minor close. Now, the goal here is at least 5 people a day. I think that's a good blanket rule. If we're playing the organic marketing game, if we're in the organic space, we should be chatting to more than 5 people a day. And that's whether that's what you're doing or not, whether that's what you've been told or not. That's the facts. Is we need to be chatting to more than 5 people a day if we really want to pick up momentum in organic marketing. So you should be pretty easily considering, we should have our targeting right. We should be adding from the right places, adding the right people. We should be able to invite 5 people realistically every day, pretty comfortably. So we should be sending at least 5 group invites per day. That's one way we grow our group. I know this is really simple. Don't underestimate the power of this. 5 people a day, 6 days a week is 30 members a week. Pretty powerful, right? It's going to grow pretty quickly. If you're consistent with this, and as I said, it will be more than 5. And this is only one method we're going to use to grow it, but we should be aiming to invite at least 5 people a day. So use that as a bit of a benchmark. Use that as a baseline and work off that. Any more is obviously better, but let's use that as like a minimum. Now, the second way that I grew my group is through content. Now, what do I mean specifically by through content is in my posts, I would offer value. So offer value, tell a story, a breakthrough, overcome an objection, practical tips, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. Just offer value of some kind, free value to people, right? And give them a clear call to action. Give them a clear call to action at the end. So let me give you an example of what this looks like. I'll write like a three tips on closing sales, right? Say I put a post out on my Facebook profile, 3 tips on closing sales. Number 1, number 2, number 3, right? And to round it up, say, the third tip, make sure you build rapport with your with your prospects on Messenger, right? Make sure you build rapport. It's going to be powerful for your sales process. Also, guys, if you want more valuable information like this, I share information daily inside of my Facebook community. If you'd like to access it, drop a hashtag group below and I'll send you the link. Like, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than this. Obviously, you want to word it a little bit more eloquently. This is just on the fly, but just to give you an idea of what that looks like just give them a value post, offer some value, and give people a clear call to action about how they can receive more value like this more often. And let them know, this doesn't go out of my profile. I have exclusive content inside of the Facebook community that I post regularly. Give people a reason. It's that simple. Give them a reason to join. You've got to give people a reason to join. Same as in your messenger conversations, same as in your content. But don't overthink this whole process. Offer a value post, right? Give people a clear call to action. If you'd like more information like this, I share tips, tricks, and hacks on sales training, or I've got an interview with one of the best sales closers in the space, or whatever that is, right? Give them a reason to join and give them a clear call to action about exactly how they can join. This will generate you again, depending on your engagement, depending on your audience, but I want to say this generated me at least 5 leads a day. Again, 5 people a day joining my group. So far we're at 10 members a day, right? 60 members a week. Now I know there's certain people, and I'm not here to pick on anyone, but I know there's people who have been working on the groups for months and are yet to hit 100 members. I understand, it's tough. We've got time constraints. A lot of us aren't super clear on exactly who to let in, who not to let in. We don't have a clear strategy to grow the group. But I'm here to tell you that you should be able to add 50 members on at least a week. And that should be pretty comfortable, really. Realistically, like, if you're serious about growing this group, you can see the power in it. You can see the long-term value that this asset offers. You should be able to invite at least 50 members a week, right? As I said, get the numbers in. Don't get absolute, how do I want to word this? Don't get really low quality friends in the group, right? But if they're in the space, if they're somewhat active on Facebook, just get them in the group, right? As long as they're not going to spam, they agree to the rules, get them in the group, build the numbers up, aim for 50 a week. But that's pretty clear, guys. So that's the second way I grew my group. And as you see, we're well over 3,000 members now. I started this group April, May, probably 10 months ago. And that's on the fly. Again, I'd have to work out exactly, but it wasn't a year ago. It was probably 10 months ago, and it's grown incredibly quickly through these methods. So I wanted to share them with you today. Now let's move on to number 3. Lead magnets. This is something I normally reserve for my paying customers, but I wanted to share it with you guys because it's incredibly valuable. I know you'll get value out of this if you use this efficiently. If you follow this strategy, it will massively increase your numbers in your group. Like, I'm talking, 100, 120, 150 I've had in a day sometimes. Really, really powerful way to grow your group, lead magnets. So this is kind of like this is the gasoline on the fire, right? We've lit the fire with the other 2 methods, and that will consistently grow by at least 50 members a week, which is awesome, by the way. That's huge. Within 10 weeks, to have 500 members, and then we start getting organic requests. That's massive, right? But this is where we throw gasoline on the fire and we really light it up. So lead magnets. Now, a way that I do it. Let me run you through my strategy. Okay, so lead magnets. This is how I grow my group. I put up a bait post. Now, I'm not going to talk about bait posts today. If you don't know what that is, a bait post is basically we're putting out a piece of bait and seeing who bites. So we're like, who wants a freebie that tells you how to do X, how to achieve Y? Whatever that is. If you check out my profile, you'll see some, who wants to check out the post that made me $3,000 in 15 minutes or something. It was something like that, right? You just put out a bit of bait and just see who bites, right? Now here's where it gets cool. Once we put the bait post up, we gauge the interest, and provided there's enough interest and it's worth us taking the time, just quickly smash through, create the lead magnet and upload it to your group. Lead magnets, again, I don't want to talk about this too much today, but it can be simple. It can be like an image. It could be like a video, something like this. It could be a basic Google Doc with some valuable information in there. Don't overthink it. It's more about the information than how it looks. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that for bait posts. If you're really confused about bait posts, leave a comment down below. I'll answer all the questions there, but I don't want to talk about bait posts too much today. But basically what we want to do is put up a bait post, create a lead magnet, and upload it into the group. Don't announce it, just upload it into the group. For those who see it, cool. For those who don't, cool. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to reach out to those interested. So we're going to go back through our bait posts. We're going to reply to everybody to boost the engagement and to allow it to gain more traction. And then we're going to message them all. Right? We're going to message them all, and we're going to be like, "Hey, thanks for your interest in Y lead magnet, whatever it is that you put up. Thanks for your interest in my guide to closing sales consistently. I usually reserve this for my paying customers. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Hey, thanks for your interest in my lead magnet. Why? Can you tell me a bit more about where you're at with your business?" Like, you can frame this however you like. Don't overthink this again. Don't overcomplicate it. The whole goal is just to ask a few questions, right? They've put their hand up. They said, "I'm interested." And you could be like, "Hey, I saw you interested in my document on closing sales. Are you also an affiliate?" Right? There's a bunch of different ways we can word this. Just get a conversation going is the goal here, right? Get a conversation going. This is going to lead to a massive amount of sales, guys. I probably shouldn't even be sharing this in the free group, but here it is, guys. So don't underestimate the value of this. This has made me thousands and thousands of dollars. All right. Ask a few questions, get a conversation going. Send them to your group to retrieve the lead magnet. Right. So this is how you grow your group. I want to talk about the sales in a sec. Let's be clear here. I want to make this really clear. We put up a bait post. We create a lead magnet and just quietly upload it in our group. We get back on the post and we reach out to everybody who said they were interested. We get a conversation going and find out a little bit more about where they're at. Right now, if they don't have a problem that we can solve, if they're not looking for a solution for something, then we just send them to our group to retrieve a lead magnet. Now, imagine, let me put this in perspective. I had a lead magnet. Now, I put this up quite a while ago. It was a bait post I put up and it got over 1,000 comments. Now, assuming that I replied to all of them, which I probably missed a couple, but assume that I replied to 50% of them. That's over 500 group members, potentially. Let's say 200 of them are already in my group, right? That's 300 group members, potentially, that have responded. Like, I hope you can see the power in this. This is one post. You can do one of these a week if you want. So really, really powerful stuff. And now let's talk about the sales and the way that this can actually convert into money for you. So we've got 500 potential people that have reached out and said, "I'm interested in this lead magnet." Okay. We've asked all of them questions. We've got a conversation going with all of them. That's 300 potential high ticket sales. Now you're talking to 300 people who have raised their hand. So their hand raises, they're looking for some sort of solution or they're interested in some sort of information. So there's likely a problem somewhere. Right. Yeah. There's likely a problem. No brainer. That's a fair assumption, I think, because they're actively looking for help. Now let's assume that like 1% of these people is interested. Like let's just say 1%. That's 3 people out of 300, right? That's potentially $3,000 if you're promoting a product that pays $1,000. If you're promoting a product that pays $2,000, that's potentially $6,000. That's from one post, one single post. And the bait post and the lead magnet is going to take you barely any time to create. So I hope you guys can see the power here. This is really, really powerful stuff. As I said, I usually reserve this for my paying customers, the lead magnet delivery system. I'm going to share it today. I want you guys to have as much value. Don't just watch this live and go, "Oh yeah, sounds pretty cool." Actually do it. Actually give it a shot. This could change everything for you. If you really apply yourself, you create a good, high quality lead magnet, with good information in it. And you genuinely have a conversation with everybody. You connect. You don't too pushy or salesy. You just ask them a bit about where they're at. Get the conversation flowing. Share your experience. Who knows where that could lead? Let's assume you have a 2% conversion rate. That's $6,000 potential dollars. Like, the potential is endless. Like, and let's say, assuming that the hand raises, it should be a little bit higher than 1 or 2%. You could even get it to 10%, right? That's 30 grand. Now, I'm not saying you're going to make 30 grand off every post. I'm not even saying you're going to make 3 grand off every post, but even $300 for putting a post out there and just creating a half an hour lead magnet is pretty good, right? And yeah, it'll be a lot more than $300 if you execute this well, but I just want you guys to see the power here. So these are the 3 methods that I use to grow my group, right? So to recap quickly, through Messenger, invite people through Messenger, anybody in the space. Secondly, is through content, include calls to action. Give people a reason to join and send them off to the group. Grow the community. And the third way is through your lead magnet delivery system. So through bait posts. Now this is the gasoline on the fire. This is where things are just going to go and blow up for you. I really hope that was helpful, guys. I really, really hope that was helpful. And above all, I want to see somebody implementing this. I want to see people implementing this information because it's a waste. Like, it's a waste me recording this and putting it in the group if nobody's going to do it, right? So I hope to see people. I want to see a bunch of bait posts is what I'm saying. Like, I hope to see a bunch of people implementing this method. Now, this is the sort of thing, guys, that we teach in the Secret Edge Mastermind. And if you're looking to really blow up your high ticket business, if you're looking to make your first or your next 2 to 3 high ticket sales in the shortest time possible and recoup your entire investment, then that is exactly what the Secret Edge Mastermind is designed for. That is exactly why I put together this training. It's like my secret vault. It's the vault I use. I use the analogy gasoline on the fire, and that's what the Secret Edge Mastermind is. It's like you've got your high ticket program, you've learned the basics, you're implementing, maybe you're not seeing the results as quickly as you'd liked, maybe things aren't as simple as you liked, and the Secret Edge Mastermind is where we pour gasoline on the fire and blow it up. That's the whole goal. You guys would have seen me posting a little bit about it. I haven't made a big deal of it. It's sitting in the background. It's actually in beta mode at the moment. So the price is half of what it's going to be once we officially launch. But if anyone would like to seriously blow up your high ticket business, just reach out to me, send me a DM, hashtag Secret Edge Mastermind. Send that to me in Facebook, in Messenger, and we'll have a chat. We'll see if it's a good fit for you and whether we can blow up your high ticket business. But guys, it's been great. If you're checking this out live, drop me a hashtag live. If you haven't already, let me know where you're checking in from. And if you guys are on replay, drop me a hashtag replay. Let me know where you're checking in from. Love checking back. I don't have time for questions today, guys, but I'm going to jump into the questions thread a little bit later on today, my time, and I'll get back to everybody. So if you have any questions, if anything's unclear, drop it in the chat. Drop them all in the chat. I'll get back to everybody and answer all your questions. And I'd love to hear your biggest takeaways as well. Like, if you got value out of this, let me know in the chat. What's your biggest takeaways? Is there something you weren't aware of, or was this a reminder for you? Is this something you already knew, but it was a reminder to start implementing? I'd love to know, what everyone's biggest takeaway was. And if you are interested in blowing up your business, as I said, send me a hashtag Secret Edge Mastermind. We'll have a chat about it. I can send you information. No pressure either way. But that's it, guys. I'll be back shortly. Hope you guys all have a great night or day, depending on where you are in the world. Probably night for most of you guys in the US. But I'll be back very soon. So cheers, guys. It was good to catch up. I'll see you soon.